Star Wars dominates the box office. Jodie Foster, not a big fan of the superhero movies. And Kendrick Lamar producing the soundtrack for Black Panther. All this right now on your Word News Weekly Roundup. It's 2018. We made it. Happy New Year, everybody. Sorry I've been on hiatus. For the 37 of you that watch this roundup, I do it for you. But we're back. We've got some new content on the channel. Anthony's starting his TV talk, so those are going to be a lot of different episodes coming in and installments to the channel talking about the TV topics that are coming up. He'll be doing one for Walking Dead, the CW stuff. So there's a lot of really good stuff there. He's got now a studio in his location, which is shaping up to be pretty awesome. And we're just excited that you guys are giving us the support so we can kind of keep doing this and having fun with it. But let's get into our topic for the first week of 2018. Jodie Foster. I guess not a fan of superhero movies. Sorry to start on a downer, but I want to get this out of the way because the rest of the topics are both good and interesting. She says that the superhero movies are bad content. I'm paraphrasing here, but they're wrecking the way that people view movies, and it's just appealing to the masses. And pretty much from an artistic level, she doesn't appreciate that people are going to the superhero movies and maybe not supporting the other movies, the more smaller projects, the indies and everything like that as much. It's spawning a generation of youth that started with Iron Man, specifically talking about the MCU, started with Iron Man in 2008, and here we are 10 years later, and they're experiencing Infinity War. And yes, superhero movies have been the number one topic. When we do our live show, everyone talks about it. But I think it's time to get over it, because superhero fatigue has been in the conversation for a very long time now. I mean, even 2, 3, 4 years after Iron Man came out, there was talks of superhero fatigue because everyone's trying to get on board of the cinematic universe bandwagon. And yes, there's cinematic universe fatigue. Sure, everyone's trying to get that big kind of long arcing storylines and big franchises and everything like that. And sure, maybe one could argue that the state of movies is such that the smaller movies and the more independent ones, or even the ones that aren't the superhero movies, outside of superhero movies, aren't getting their just due. Maybe we can see that. Maybe we notice that in the box office when we're noticing a lot of these movies, not making as much money. But I still disagree with her because it's another genre. It's like the Westerns. It's like the sci-fis. It's like anything else. And the only thing is that now the superhero movies are dipping into those styles. We have Logan, which was a Western. We've got the Guardians, which is our sci-fi. We've got our smaller pieces, our period pieces, like our Wonder Womans and our first Captain Americas. And yeah, maybe people aren't supporting the other ones as much, but I don't know if I would consider it bad content, and I don't agree with it. James Gunn, the director of the Guardians movies, said that it's old-fashioned. And I agree with him to that fact. It's like, get over it. It is what it is. I just wanted to get this one out of the way because I feel it's something to talk about. Let me know. Do you guys think that superhero movies have ruined the viewing habits of you, your kids, your family members? If you're in this industry, not in the industry, I don't know. I just think, they're going to be here for a while. I'm pretty sure they are going to be slowing down, especially after Infinity War is done. And moving on, Apple made so much money, they want to buy Netflix. I think they made like 280 million. What do we have here? Yeah, 285 billion. Sorry, not million. My mistake. Sorry, Apple. $285 billion last year. Netflix's stock went up about 4.8%. So their stocks are about $201 or something like that. 201.07 And that has put their average up quite a bit to the market cap being 87 billion. Let's say it costs Apple 100 billion to buy this thing. They've got 285. They have the money. It's not going to ruin them by any means. I think the biggest thing with this is the implications of it. I mean, they're going to streamline it so it works with iTunes, of course. their iTunes store, all sorts of things. And to me, a non-Apple person, aside from my iPads, it seems like Apple does like to make sure that people are staying in the Apple circle. Their chargers aren't compatible with anything else but theirs. They upgrade to the lightning rods and all that stuff. And it only works for specific stuff. They even had that little bit of a scandal where they were saying, yes, those phones are slowing down, and now they're looking at possibly giving a discount or something on batteries so people can have. So that might be my only concern, but that's just speculation right now on my point. I just think we're at a time now where these companies are buying other companies. We saw the Disney and Fox thing. Now we're going to see Apple, Netflix. Who knows what's going to happen? And maybe Apple's just trying to pick up more and more so they can compete with everybody else, even though $285 billion is a lot of money. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. But that's a big acquisition. Next. Kendrick Lamar. Kung Fu Kenny. The guy at the top of his game for years now. Probably the number one guy, at least for me, for hip-hop. Whenever his album comes out, I rush out to it. Then we've got him now producing the Black Panther soundtrack. Yes. That is all sorts of awesome because this movie is turning out to be just badass from start to finish. I liked all the trailers. I like everybody involved. I think this is going to be an incredible, incredible movie. I think it's going to be Marvel's potentially most important movie, just given the scope of everything involved in it. And now you've got Kendrick Lamar and Dawg producing the soundtrack for it. It's just going to add that little bit more to it. It's just going to make it even better, I think. They released a track called All the Stars. It's Kendrick Lamar and SZA. I'm pretty sure it's SZA because I'm just basing it off RZA from Wu-Tang, because it's almost the same thing except SZA instead of RZA or Z if you're feeling naughty. So that's just all sorts of awesome. I'm excited for it. I love it. I think it's going to be great. And it's Kendrick Lamar. The guy has proven right now that he can do no wrong. And I just hope he's in a lot of it. I hope he brings in some really good features. This first track that came out, a lot of people like. I think it fits. I think it's going to work really, really well. So I'm just all excited for it. I think you guys all should be excited for it and the Black Panther movie because this movie's going to be, it could very well be, as I mentioned, one of your biggest game changers in the MCU. A movie that takes the idea and changes it. That's probably next Infinity War. Of course, my most anticipated movie. For sure. Lastly, surprise, surprise, Last Jedi made a boatload of money. It's not surprising, the fact that Disney made sure that they were getting an extra 10% of the box office numbers, and they made them screen on 4 of their biggest screens for, I think, a month or however long it was. I don't remember. We did a report on it back then. That's all not surprising. And they made a lot of money. They beat out The Dark Knight and Rogue One, and they ended up getting about $539.4 million after 19 days. That's insane. That's just huge. That's on par with, not on par, but it's getting relatively close. Star Wars Force Awakens, 936.6 million. Avatar, 760 million. Titanic, 659 million. Jurassic World, 652. Avengers, 623. And it's just earning. That plan obviously worked. Love them or hate them, it's gonna work. And also, I think the fact that Last Jedi being a divisive Star Wars film had a lot to do with it. I noticed a lot of people in my circle went out to form their own opinions. A lot of people don't know how to take this movie. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. Some people like it, some people hate it. It's making people talk. It's getting some people angry. It's getting some people excited. It got me excited. I liked it. It was very different. I understand where the hate's coming from some people, but you know what? It's a movie. That's what they're supposed to do. Not everyone's going to like everything. So yeah, it's made a boatload of money. It definitely worked, and they just keep pumping them out. And I don't know if that's going to be the new standard now in regards to demanding more from the box office and demanding that they do certain things like putting it in their 4 biggest screens, like keeping it in those screens for a certain amount of time, or they'll just pull it. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely worked in this case. So guys, that's your news weekly roundup for the first week in 2018. I hope you had a great new year. We look forward to bringing you new stuff. In the new year. Have a wonderful 2018. I'll catch you next week. I'm G. This was your news weekly roundup, and I am out.